Welcome to Etcha, I'm Ben, your intrepid storyteller. Mythology has been a storytelling vessel throughout the many ages of human existence, taking the fantastical, the mystical, and the magical and setting them against the backdrop of familiar places in each culture's history. The most well-known and certainly overwrought mythologies is that of the Greeks. But today, we aren't going to cover the same old stories you've heard before. In fact, we're going to travel to a foreign land. A land known for its luck, its green grass, its good beer, and its great music. Today, we are going to the land of Erin, or as you know it, Ireland. In 1887, a folklorist by the name of Jeremiah Curtin traveled to Ireland to collect what myths he could from the people of Ireland. And one of these stories centers around the most famous of Ireland's mythological heroes, Cu Chulainn. Cu Chulainn was the son of an ancient god named Lugh, and Deirdre, the human sister of an Irish king. A young woman by the name of Gillenog came to Ireland looking for the king's champion Cu Chulainn and his men, and when she found him, she told him a story. Her father, the king of some druidic nation not far from Greece, had matched his oldest daughter to the king of Greece, and had his younger, prettier daughter hidden away until after the wedding. A day later, the king of Greece set eyes on the younger daughter and wanted her instead. The druidic king refused the trade, and the king of Greece became so angry that he took up arms against his father-in-law and defeated him, taking away the druidic staff of enchantment and the ring of youth. And then he used the staff of enchantment to turn the older daughter into a sea serpent. And after having rid himself of his wife, he turned to the younger and said, "You'll be a cat while inside the castle, and a human outside the castle," and conked her on the head with the staff of enchantment. While in her human form, the younger daughter found a druid and asked him for wisdom. The druid then told her to make a coat of her own hair and take it to Ireland. The champion of the Irish king who fits the coat will be the man to break the enchantment. When Gillenog was finished with her story, she pulled out a coat of human hair and said, "If the coat fits, wear it," or something to that effect. Each man tried it on, and lo and behold, the only man whose shoulder fit inside the coat was Cu Chulainn. After hearing that many men and champions from Gillenog's own land had gone up against the Grecian king and failed, Cu Chulainn rose to the challenge and hailed a boat to Greece. He then challenged the Grecian king to battle, but being the coward that he was, the king of Greece sent out his hordes of men to kill Cu Chulainn. Cu Chulainn slay every last one of them, and came up to the king's castle and said, "If you don't come out to me, I'll come in to you and cut your head off in your own castle." So the king decided it wasn't very becoming to be beheaded in one's own castle, and went out to fight Cu Chulainn. They fought till Cu Chulainn had the king down on the ground, legs and hands bound together behind him. "Give me what you took from Gillenog's father, or I'll take the head off ye," said Cu Chulainn. "I couldn't do that, 'cause there was a man who came and took them from me, who could take them from you, and me, and many more, if they were here to fight him." "Who is he?" said Cu Chulainn. "Lugh of Longhand. I'll show you where he is, but first, come into my castle and let's party." The next day, the king of Greece and Cu Chulainn set off to Lugh of Longhand's castle. Once Cu Chulainn had bested Lugh and bound him head, hand, and foot, and demanded the staff and ring, Lugh said, "I couldn't do that, 'cause there was a man who came and took them from me, and he could take them from you, and he can take them from me, and take them from many more men if they were here to fight." "Who was he?" said Cu Chulainn. "Unbound me and feast with me in my castle, and I'll tell you the story." And so Cu Chulainn fought and bested 3 more kings before he was told that ultimately The queen of the wilderness, an old hag with 7 layers of protection. First, a round tower that spins on wheels and its entrance too high to reach. Then 7 cats with poisoned tails that with 1 drop of their poison would kill a man. Then the bull who destroys anything that enters the forest of mist. And then hung up naked, a headless man on a tree who will kill any man on sight if he doesn't return his head to his shoulders. And then 7 men with hurleys who will lop your head off and use it to play a game of hurling. And lastly, 2 lions. And so Cu Chulainn went to fight his final foe, since according to legends, lions can neither bite red scarves nor red hair. Cu Chulainn cut off his hair and wrapped it around his one hand, pulling off his red handkerchief and wrapping it around the other. He then rammed his hands down each lion's throat, pulling out their livers and their lights, killing them dead. Next he came upon the hurlers and drew his sword, cutting off the first one's head and doing the same to the next 6 before they could swing one swing at him. He then came upon Hung Up Naked, who had lost his head over the Queen of Wilderness. Literally, she cut his head off because he wouldn't marry her. Cu Chulainn said, "I won't fight a man unless he has his head on him." So he picked up the head and placed it on Hung Up Naked's neck. Hung Up Naked refused to fight, saying that if Cu Chulainn promised to kill the queen, that he would not kill Cu Chulainn. Cu Chulainn agreed and moved on. He entered the woods, and the bull came at him full force, knocking Cu Chulainn into a tree. He strove with the bull for 3 days, and on the 4th day, he bested the bull. Cu Chulainn soon came upon the 7 cats with poisoned tails. He miraculously avoided all their poison while cutting off each tail. The cats then ran away. The high tower with its impossibly high entrance came into view, and Cu Chulainn remembered something he had been told about the wheels turning the tower. If he just cut the axle, the wheels would fall off and the tower would crumble to the ground. Brilliant, right? And he did so. And the tower crumbled. He went in, snatched the queen by the back of the neck, throwing her out of the tower and onto her head, breaking her neck and killing her instantly. He took the rod of enchantment from her and put the ring of youth on his finger. He then traveled back to Greece and found Gillenog outside the castle. Cu Chulainn tapped her with his rod and she never turned to a cat again. He then asked where the older sister was. They went to the sea and he turned her back into a human. The Grecian king took her as his wife and Gillenog married Cu Chulainn. Cu Chulainn went back to Ireland with his new wife and the rod of enchantment and the ring of youth. But when he came back, he had somehow forgotten about, or didn't even know about, a son he had left behind by a lady named Virago of Alba. Virago was so jealous of the new wife that she sent Cu Chulainn's own son to fight against him. Cu Chulainn, not knowing that the young man of 18 years who had come to fight him was his son, fought hard for 3 days and 3 nights. But Cu Chulainn's son would not kill his father, and Cu Chulainn finally struck his son in the head fatally. The kid did not immediately die, and he cried out, "I die of that blow from my father!" Horrified, Cu Chulainn said, "Are you my son?" "I am," cried his son. Mercifully, Cu Chulainn put the boy out of his misery. Cu Chulainn was so angry that he was about to fly into a rage and kill every last man in the kingdom. The king ordered that Cu Chulainn go down to the waves and swim against the waves until his anger had subsided. Cu Chulainn went down to the water and fought against the waves for 7 days and 7 nights until he was exhausted and the waves overtook him. The end. Now, as I read over the tale of Cu Chulainn, and I considered the numbers, 7 layers of protection, 7 men with iron hurleys, and 7 cats with poison tails. And why did Cu Chulainn struggle with the bull for 3 days? And the same with his son, 3 days, 3 nights. Perhaps the Christian influence on Irish culture since the Roman times has something to do with it? Or do the roots go deeper into Celtic culture and Druidic worship? Discuss it with me in the comments below. Let's see if we can unravel this mystery together. And thanks for listening to my tales. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button, like, or share this if you thought it was good enough for, your friends. Yep. I think I'm done. I'm about to die of hate. I think my rats are too, so here we go. 3, 2, 1, and off. And off. And off. And out.